Hey there, and good day. We're back with another episode of EOI Review. Everything you need to know to pass that slimy, sleazy end of instruction U.S. history exam. In the last video, we looked at the great arsenal of democracy concept and what it meant. Primarily, the Lend-Lease Act replacing the previous cash carry policy after Britain ran out of money, and the United States of America throwing its support behind the communist dictator Joseph Stalin whenever Hitler broke his pact and attacked the Soviet Union. Now, we ended off with those German wolf packs, those just swarms of German U-boats that were out there in the North Atlantic hitting and sinking merchant ships on their way to Britain. In this one, we're going to look at FDR's plans for war. Now, although he was a very popular president, he did support getting involved in this conflict. But the American people and Congress just were not ready to throw their support behind that. So, the United States of America, our military was still severely undermanned. And in 1941, August of 41, Roosevelt proposed that we extend the terms for draftees that we had been pulling into the armed forces under the Selective Service Act. And it did pass, but it only passed the House of Representatives by one vote. But Roosevelt was still certain that the United States of America was going to get involved in this war. So he did come up with the Atlantic Charter. This was a result of him having a very private meeting with the British Prime Minister, Winston Churchill. They met secretly at a summit aboard the battleship, the USS Augusta. And there, Churchill wanted the United States of America to get involved. He wanted a commitment from Roosevelt, and Roosevelt said it's not going to happen. So they had to settle for something that came to be known as the Atlantic Charter. This was a joint declaration of war aims that called for collective security, disarmament, self-determination, economic cooperation, and freedom of the seas. But Roosevelt ended the meeting by telling Churchill, "I cannot ask Congress to declare war on Germany yet." But he did say that America would wage war and do everything to force an incident. Now, what that means is something's got to happen out there on these fronts that's going to drag America into this war. Now, this Atlantic Charter became the basis of a new document known as a Declaration of the United Nations. So the term United Nations was suggested by Roosevelt to express the common purpose of the Allies in this war. So that is the origin of the phrase United Nations. Now, 26 nations signed this, and Churchill commented that that's, 4/5 of the human race. Their countries are basically behind this declaration. Now, not long after this, a German U-boat did fire on a U.S. destroyer known as the Greer in the North Atlantic. This was in September of 1941. Roosevelt went on to address the country and the armed forces by basically calling these German U-boats rattlesnakes. And he ordered the Navy, when you see a rattlesnake poisoned to strike, you crush him. So this is Roosevelt telling the United States Navy to shoot these German submarines on sight. About 2 weeks later, the Pink Star, an American merchant ship, was attacked and it sunk off the coast of Greenland. Then in mid-October, a U-boat attacked the U.S. destroyer Kearney, killing 11 U.S. servicemen. A few days after that, the German U-boats hit and sunk the U.S. destroyer Reuben James in a famous incident that killed over 100 American sailors. Roosevelt stated that America has been attacked. The shooting has started, and history has recorded who fired that first shot. Now, the Senate does respond by finally repealing a ban against arming American merchant ships. And a formal declaration of war does seem inevitable, but it seems like it's going to come against Germany. And of course, it's not going to be the Germans who are going to attack the United States and lead to us dragging us into this war. It will be someone else.